In The Whole Art of War, Sun Tzu writes, "The supreme excellence is not to win 100 victories in 100 battles." Pause on that. 100 battles, 100 victories. In most traditions, military, competitive, personal, this would be the definition of mastery. Not for Sun Tzu. Supreme excellence, he says, consists in breaking the enemy's resistance without fighting. Chapter 3 is the chapter where Sun Tzu reveals what he is actually teaching, and it is not, at its deepest level, about fighting at all. He sets out a hierarchy of strategic achievement in this chapter. The highest form of generalship, he says, is to balk the enemy's plans. The next best, prevent the junction of the enemy's forces. The next in order to attack the enemy's army in the field. The worst policy of all, to besiege walled cities. Read this carefully. The hierarchy moves from the highest, disrupting the enemy before they can act, to the lowest, direct physical assault on a defended position. Most people and most organizations operate at the bottom of this hierarchy. They wait until conflict is unavoidable and then engage it directly. Sun Tzu considers this a failure of preparation, not a demonstration of strength. The skillful leader subdues the enemy's troops without any fighting. He captures their cities without laying siege to them. He overthrows their kingdom without lengthy operations in the field. How? Through superior knowledge, through understanding of the situation that so completely exceeds his opponents that the opponent recognizes, before engagement, that resistance is futile. This is not a fantasy. Sun Tzu is describing a real strategic condition, one that requires extraordinary preparation, intelligence, and honest self-assessment to achieve. But when it is achieved, the result is not just victory. It is victory at the lowest possible cost, with the least possible destruction, and with the greatest possible preservation of resources for whatever comes next. Now comes the line that has traveled furthest across 25 centuries. Know the enemy and know yourself. In 100 battles, you will never be in peril. When you are ignorant of the enemy, but know yourself, you stand an even chance of winning or losing. If ignorant both of your enemy and of yourself, you are certain in every battle to be in peril. 3 conditions, 3 outcomes, stated with the precision of mathematics. The instruction is not complicated. Know yourself, know your opponent, know the situation with complete honesty. Most conflict, most failure begins in the gap between how things are and how we believe them to be. Sun Tzu closes that gap through knowledge, not courage, not strength, not numbers. Knowledge. Sun Tzu closes chapter 3 with 5 essentials for victory. He will win who knows when to fight and when not to fight. He will win who knows how to handle both superior and inferior forces. He will win whose army is animated by the same spirit throughout all its ranks. He will win who, prepared himself, waits to take the enemy unprepared. He will win who has military capacity and is not interfered with by the sovereign. 5 conditions. Notice that none of them are about weapons, numbers, or terrain. All of them are about knowledge, unity, preparation, and freedom of action. It is worth pausing here to notice how far this chapter extends beyond its military context. The person who knows when to act and when to wait. The person who can work effectively with what they have rather than waiting for ideal conditions. The person who is genuinely aligned with the people around them rather than managing a reluctant team. The person who prepares before they need to rather than after. These are not military virtues. They are human ones. Sun Tzu wrote about war because war was the context he understood best, the highest stakes arena where these principles could be tested most clearly. But he was not ultimately writing about armies. He was writing about the nature of conflict and the conditions for its resolution. And those conditions have not changed in 25 centuries. Win without fighting. Know yourself. Know your opponent. Close the gap between what you believe and what is actually true. Prepare so completely that when the moment of decision comes, the decision has already been made. This is not passivity. It is the highest form of engagement, the engagement that makes all lesser forms unnecessary. Sun Tzu understood this 2,500 years ago. Most of us are still learning it.